My passion is to help those people, young people, that Mr. Fuckerberg is fucking up. About 20 years ago, I broke my leg, you know. This is the third point in my life which changed my life. So breaking my leg was the biggest blessing I had ever gotten in my life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Professor Joy podcast. It is a pleasure to have you here. I'm here with Steffi, our social media person. Welcome.
Thank you.
Always good to see you. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the person who started this whole crazy thing, Professor Joy.
Thank you,
The
Professor
smile
Metzger. Thank you.
speaks volumes.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
How are things?
Beautiful. In fact, I generally let you start, and then I would like to have a few minutes to talk about something I have on mind.
I think you should have the floor.
Okay. So, looking back at my life and JoyScore, so years ago I met a gentleman, his name is Buckminster Fuller. He is the one who designed and invented geodesic dome. It's the most amazing span of any structure you can think of. Actually, Long Beach has one where Spruce Goose used to be housed.
Yes.
That was his invention.
That was his design?
Well, he designed the dome. Now those domes are everywhere in the world, but he was the original mastermind behind creating that dome. And what it is, it's all made of small pieces of structural members, in a triangular fashion, and it can span huge, huge distances. So after the lecture I attended, I asked him, what does it take for me as a young architect to be successful? He said, project. And I said, well, thank you so much, And he moved on, and I kept thinking, he said, project. I have done projects already, but I don't understand. How can that make anybody successful? So I chased him again, And he turned around and said, oh, you got another question for me? I said, no, sir, I'm struggling with the first one. And I don't understand what you mean by project. It's all. I should have explained. You need a project, and then what you do with that project determines if you're going to succeed or fail. I said, now I got it. Because what you do with the project is what determines where your life is going to go. And he said, in addition, if you could teach, would be even much better. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I teach. And that's the reason I became good, because I teach. So then right after that, I got married, and I told my wife, I said, listen, I have to go back and finish my terminal degrees and teach. He said, why do you have to teach? I said, because I want to be good. She laughed at me. She said, I don't understand. I said, don't worry about it. I got a plan of action that I got to accomplish, which is to teach. And then after that, I started teaching. And years later, I met Betty Edwards, who I learned the concept of joy from. Right brain connectivity, creativity, intuition, and all those things come from the right brain, And I was so fascinated with this whole idea that I developed that as part of my teaching philosophy and doctrine. I said, this is it. And I started insisting to my students and my classes that they all have to be joyful and smiling in my class. And the university student paper wrote an article, says, professor kicks you out if you're not smiling in his class. And I loved it. But I mean, as a faculty, for the first 7 years you go through what they call RTP review, retention, promotion, and tenure.
Right.
So that was my final year for RTP review.
Year 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This 7th year. And because of my teaching philosophy, I got nominated for a very special award called Meritorious Performance and Professional Promise Award. It's a very prestigious faculty award. Actually it comes with a lot of money. So it's not very good.
Yes, it does.
So I got that, and I just couldn't believe that I got nominated and received that. And the same year I became tenured and full professor, because in order to become a full professor you have to be tenured.
Yes.
So the tenure comes first. If you get tenure, then you can be considered for promotion.
Right.
But it's the same application time that they considered me for. Gave me tenure, gave me promotion, and then the university gave me this award. I said, my God, this was a phenomenal year. So then I became, a couple of years later, the AIA president of our chapter, and realized that not only the university, but even as a professional activity, I got recognized for my work, and then got nominated to be the president. But anyway, the point is that all this took place, and then I bought a bunch of companies, and became a big businessman, and went to Harvard Business School in the OPM program. And then the thing I was fascinated with was that they had us document our achievements and net worth and this and that, and develop a profile which is based on Forbes magazine, what percentile of the country's population you're in.
Okay.
So you're in top 10, top 1, top 0.1, whatever. And I was in top 0.1. I said, how did that happen? Because I never considered myself to be very smart. I always worked very hard, because I thought I was not very smart, so I had to overcome that lack of smartness that I felt I didn't have. So,
but you are smart.
I don't know.
You are smart.
So I just compensated and worked hard, because I didn't want to suffer and fail. So that led me to think, how did I accomplish that? I mean, again, whether I am smart or not, but I felt I'm not. But how did I become so highly accomplished?
And what's the answer?
Joy. It was what I learned and made it as part of my teaching philosophy and doctrine, which I learned from Betty Edwards, made me achieve success.
Let me ask you this. Did you find that joy rubs off onto the students?
Absolutely. I mean, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed teaching, because my wife would once in a while complain about me teaching, because I had employees working for me who were making 2-3 times of what the university was paying me. And she said, why do you even teach? I said, you don't understand. I don't teach for money. It's just the passion and the satisfaction that get. Not only that, I mean, it is so true when Buckminster Fuller said, if you could teach, and you're a professor, you, I'm sure, can relate to this. When I taught, I learned from my students. So when I taught a class and we're having a dialogue and discussing whatever, the person who walks away with the most benefit is the person who has the most capacity to absorb. I'm like, when I'm sitting in my class and talking to my class, I'm a big sponge, I'm soaking everything up. And sometimes at the end of the class, I say, my students didn't get as much as I got out of it,
Yeah.
because I can soak it up, I have the mental capacity to take it, and they had a little mental capacity to take a little bit of it.
Right.
So, but the point is, and so then all that, and then about 20 years ago, I broke my leg, which was near-death experience because I thought I died.
Right.
And so this is the third point in my life which changed my life. The first was Buckminster Fuller, and then Barry Edwards, and then breaking my leg. So breaking my leg was the biggest blessing I had ever gotten in my life, because they took, well, first of all, when I was lying with tibia in 6 pieces under the bike, I thought I died. I said, well, that's good. You're done. All that hustle and bustle and chasing money. Okay, now what are you going to do? You're dead. And then I heard someone say, hey, are you okay? I said, wait a second. If I can hear somebody, I'm not dead. Because dead people can't hear anything. So, that breaking of the leg with all that pain I had with tibia in 6 pieces, but this burst of joy that I'm alive was unbelievable.
That is such a great way to look at it. So instead of looking at it as, oh my gosh, I am in so much pain,
Right.
it's
I
I'm
didn't
alive.
even, I did not even feel the pain because I was so joyful,
Right.
And then, just before I broke my leg, I was all about making money. I was making over $1 million a year. And if you stop me and say, hey, where are you going? I had no idea where I was going, but I was making money.
Yes.
So when I broke my leg, I said, hey, there is a blessing for you from God to wake up. Because number one, you were minting money, but what were you going to do with it? Because you can't even use what you have. You can't take it with you. And that is funny that I say that, and then in one of the podcasts I complained about Mr. Zuckerberg.
Right.
And here I am, and I'm not a billionaire, I'm a multimillionaire, So I gave up wanting to make money because I said, okay, from now on, I don't want to make money. I want to share my joy and teach others how to achieve their joy. So this is like now, so I got on this high horse to teach others how to achieve what I had achieved in my life, success, joy, whatever. So I started working on the book that I had been thinking about, and it started with Barry Edwards, and she took off, and
Right.
she became a celebrity. And then finally I finished it and published it in 2011 called Joy in Health and Happiness. And then I started JoyScore, and then finished that in 17. I said, okay, now I can sell again a few 100,000 copies, and then what? I'm not a writer, Says, I'm going to develop an app so I can reach millions. So now that I have developed the app, my passion is to help those people, young people, that Mr. Zuckerberg is fucking up. Because somebody got to help him.
Somebody needs to.
He was in front of Congress apologizing to the parents who lost their kids. Because this idiot has algorithm in his products which grab and don't let him go. So his employees have told him, sir, our algorithm is hurting children, young people. He said, I don't give a fuck. I got to make money. Now, how much more money do you want to make? You're one of the richest people in the world.
Right.
You know, he and Elon Musk, maybe the top, actually, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but I know a few years earlier than that, Bill Gates, no, Warren Buffett decided to give away his 99% of his wealth to charity, charitable causes. So he goes to Bill Gates and says, hey, that's what I decided. What are you going to do?
Right.
He said, well, I can do the same thing. So then these two go asking all the friends and billionaires that they knew and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. What are you going to do? And they all started donating money to their cause, their charitable organization. And in less than a year, they had over $1 trillion in this.
Not surprising.
You know, I mean, there's so much money out there. But then, you know, now we talk about these people, and then you have 7 greediest people in the world.
Has the ranking changed since last week?
Yes, it has.
It has.
Yeah. So, Mr. Zuckerberg is still on the top.
Okay.
After that comes Elon Musk.
He's new
Okay,
to the
I think
list,
he's
isn't
moved
he?
up.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
moved up. And then we have our own homegrown Mr. Trump. Couple weeks ago, Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk had a news conference. They talked shit for 2 hours.
2 hours, yes.
Didn't make any sense of what they were talking about. See, the thing is, now here, look at my simple life. I mean, a guy like me, not even very handsome looking either, you know.
Yes, you are. You were fishing for that compliment. I walked right into
I mean,
that. Yes, you are.
If you compare me to, well, I think I'm better looking than Zuckerberg.
You
but-
definitely are much better looking.
He looks
than
like,
Zuckerberg.
he doesn't look
Yes,
very good.
Yes. And you're much better looking than Elon Musk.
No, Elon Musk is a handsome looking guy.
And you're not as orange as Donald Trump. So,
And then comes Putin, Kim, Xi, Netanyahu, all these people. So these are all, in my opinion, greediest human beings. They have done nothing for others. They have always thought about themselves. And here, because I broke my leg, I gave up everything and said, now I'm going to do the rest of my life helping others. And you know, that brings me so much more joy than the money I was making before.
Do you think these people will ever have a turning point like
No,
that?
no.
No.
These are scumbags.
we should invite them to download the JoyScore app.
We should. I feel
We
like
should.
they need it.
You should send out a message to them and say, we'd love to
You
have
know,
you.
because our team puts these podcasts on YouTube and other channels.
Yes.
And the last one I saw, they had Zuckerberg and my picture on the front of the YouTube. I said, oh shit, that's not good.
What a couple. What a power couple, right?
So, I mean, my Humanity Foundation, and so this is, you were mentioning that a couple of weeks ago there was an article on Precious Lamb and Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
And I have been supporting them, and you were actually in the dinners for both of those.
I was indeed, yes.
And you know, then I have Long Beach Rescue Mission and Salvation RV. And then there's an organization in India called Akshay Patra where they serve 2 million meals, hot meals, fresh meals a day to school children.
Wow.
So these are my 5 charitable causes which are part of my Humanity Foundation. And how I support Humanity Foundation, which I could not even believe that I could do that, to have the courage to pledge 51% of everything I have, including my projects, JoyScore, to this foundation. And now I want to go plead to all the celebrities and billionaires like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates did to go to all these billionaires and celebrities and say, hey, this is what I'm doing.
We should include Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, yes. What are you guys willing to do for my foundation? And our foundation financial structure would be handled and managed by Long Beach Community Foundation, which is a charitable cause foundation.
Yeah.
People keep all their money there, and they manage everything. And anybody can pledge anything they want or their donation to any cause they want, and they keep track of that. So I'm not going to be the one managing it. They manage it. They manage over $100 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah, they're huge. So that's where I am with this project and helping all the people that Mr. Fuckerberg is fucking up.
And I just wanted to add on while you say that Zuckerberg offers a negative social media
Fuckerberg.
I'm a lady. We actually do.
She can't say that.
Oh.
We have a social media channel, JoyScore, and it actually offers a positive social media.
Right.
experience. So we are going head to head with Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually, now she mentioned that, and now that she mentioned it, let me explain to you. So when TikTok 3 years ago, just before pandemic, got banned in India, they banned all the Chinese apps because they did not trust Chinese people. And I don't blame them, because they steal data and intelligence from everywhere in the world. That country is built on stealing stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have their own intelligence, but they just steal data. Anything they can grab, go. Chinese country is built on stealing stuff from everywhere else in the world. So India banned all their apps, totally, just threw it out. So I said, okay, I got to start. And then we were hearing that US may also ban it, TikTok. So I said, okay, I got to start an app which is like TikTok. And when they all get banned everywhere, then JoyStory would come up. So JoyStory is kind of an idea to replace TikTok one day.
In a more positive experience.
And JoyStory is about positive acts of kindness and things like that, not just any random crap on it.
Right.
And in fact, we even have an algorithm in JoyStory that anything which has more than 3 or 5 negative comments, it self-deletes itself. So that way it would self-cleansing it on an ongoing basis. So if we have more than 3 negative comments saying it's not good, it's gone.
I think this is great that you two are discussing this, because I don't think we discussed the JoyScore app enough
Right.
in this podcast. And I just think it's great every once in a while, because we do have new people looking at what we're doing every single episode that we do. And so I think it's important that they know all of the assets that are available to them on JoyScore.
In fact, I'm glad that Steffi mentioned it. She is the one, actually. She's our, and has been our brand ambassador for 5 years now. She's the one posting all her content on JoyStory, Instagram, TikTok, and her help is very valuable to JoyScore. And so our JoyScore app, our JoyStory, and the third one that we have created is out of necessity, because Connie Rose, our happiness coach, in one of the podcasts said that, look, a lot of times people are not happy because they're suffering from being lonely. So I said, okay, we're going to have an app which allows people to hook up and find friends, so we called it Joy Match. Then we have Joy Health and Joy Earth. So these are our app. We have a bunch of games and 1,000 pieces of content in our
And we have books.
And
Books.
we have books.
Children's books.
Children's
Yeah.
books.
Adults books.
And the trilogy now is JoyScore for life you want, and Health Score for the life you want, and Earth Score for the life you want.
See, I think that's a great title because we're not telling people that this is the be all
No,
end all for you.
it's
but
whatever
this
you
is-
want.
Right.
Because when I started teaching, one of the things I learned by teaching that you don't go into a classroom and insist what they need to learn from you. You just offer them what you know. And it's up to them to figure out what they want to take or not.
Exactly.
And
You
we
know?
also have the tools to see you through
Right.
your whole life.
I mean,
Children.
believe it or not, I have to put a little plug for Steffi. She has
Do you have to?
She has a 4-year-old. She has adopted this child, and she is bringing this child up with JoyScore principles because she kind of is a believer of that. So I just want to see what kind of positive impact it's going to have on Chetan, her son, because I think it's phenomenal. Because there was a girl in about 5 years ago. She used to work for Knott's Berry Farm, and she comes to me one day and say, "Hey, you want some feedback on your app and your stuff you have?" I say, "Yeah." He said, "Why don't you buy my about 40 friends dinner at a restaurant and we'll give you feedback." So soon developed a questionnaire of things that we wanted to know, and she passed it out, and I bought the dinner. So this was a fair trade.
Sure.
So comes back, and Sue did the analysis, and one of the most fascinating things I learned from the feedback was that there was a correlation between credit score and Joy Score. And I said, that doesn't make any sense, I mean, because the two have nothing in common.
Right.
One is based on your credit, your financial health. One is your Joy Score based on your mental health. And I kept on struggling and questioning it for a few months, and then finally it dawned on me that people who have their Joy Score higher, their life is put together a little better than the others. And that's the reason they have higher credit score. They would have higher health score. They would have higher everything in their life. So, I mean, so the point here is, in fact, Dr. Fisher, Stuart Fisher,
I do.
cardiologist, he said, look, it's a no-brainer, People who are going to have higher Joy Score, they would have better heart health. And if someone has better heart health, he's going to have overall health. So our pitch now is to introduce this product as a wellness product to the health insurance companies. And so that's what we are pursuing right now.
See, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I really love that. Well, heck, I don't even have time to talk about what I want to talk about, but I think it was great that we were able to talk about JoyScore and let people know why they should go into the Apple Store or Google Play and download the app, because there's so many things available to them that we've talked about today.
Beautiful.
All the different options.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. We'll talk about this next week.
Okay.
So thanks, everybody. Please download our app. We'd love to get your feedback on it as well. And we will see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.